Hey everybody, it's Eric here. Hope you're doing okay. It's day 12 of living in isolation in beautiful Arvada, Colorado. And decided to do this one under the pavilion of my... Okay. So, anyway, today's video blog is, I'm going to call it the 5 stages of the coronavirus. One second. Sorry about that. Okay, so the 5 stages of the coronavirus. I'm riffing on, we're kind of using the work of Elisabeth Kübler and David Kessler, who developed the 5 stages of grief, which is a really useful roadmap in dealing with all of the, dealing with any kind of loss. We're certainly in a spot now where we have any kind of coping skills we have for dealing with loss are going to come in very useful, and grief. We've all lost something, even though we may not know a lot of people that have been directly affected by the virus yet. We've lost our freedom. We've lost the ability to plan any kind of event with our friends. We've lost our social lives. There's a lot of things that we've lost, and so I think it's really useful to remember that there is a process for dealing with this stuff, and we need to prepare ourselves because it's going to get worse before it gets better. So, with that in mind, here are the 5 stages of the coronavirus. The first, denial. That's saying stuff like this isn't such a big deal. It's like the flu. It only affects old people, or it only affects people with compromised immune systems. There are only a few cases. It's over in Italy. Anyway, it's a whole bunch of ways that we deny dealing with this stuff. Let's not even get into the area of it's a hoax, or the Democrats did it, or it's the Chinese. All these things just don't help us. But we have to go through that phase a little bit. We have to say, no, this isn't real. There's no way that all these people are going to be affected by this the way that they're saying. And then we move into anger. It's like, why are people freaking out? Why is everybody buying up all the toilet paper? People are idiots. Just being mad at the situation, being mad at not being able to go out, being mad at not being able to go to work and being able to pay your bills, and the anxiety that comes from that, being frustrated from not being able to go for a jog. At a time when we're all being asked to stay at home. People get pissed off when they can't do the things they're normally used to doing. So anyway, that's anger. And then it moves into bargaining. It's like, well, it's okay to go jogging. I mean, that's exercise. And besides, I'm not near anybody, or, herd immunity. If we let enough people get it in the population, then everybody be protected because there's enough people who won't transmit the virus anymore. Or closing borders when containment's failed. These are all examples to me of bargaining, where we are taking a response to this, but we're not really dealing with it straight on. We're trying to negotiate with it. We're trying to make it not as bad as it actually is or is going to be, potentially making it worse in doing so. Then there's depression. A lot of people are going to die. It's just a fact. It weighs on me every day that we have never seen anything like this. And the numbers that we're going to see, the numbers that freak us out in the United States, while they're bad, holy cow, what's going to happen to India is 10 times worse. So we are in for some very interesting times where we're going to see stuff we've never seen before. There's not going to be a way to keep up with all the people passing away. They're going to have to take some measures that are going to be just really horrifying to deal with this. And, it's enough that it makes you not want to deal with it anymore. Or in my case this last week, sleep a lot just to be able to deal with stuff and make sense of stuff. But it's a necessary piece of this 5 stages of grief, You have to go through each one of these stages, and you cannot rush each one of these stages. You have to fully experience it before you can move on to the next one. If you don't, you're just going to come back to it and do it later. So this depression piece is very important as well, because without going through the depression piece, we can't come back at this rationally. Then we come to acceptance. Yes, a lot of people are going to die. A lot more are probably going to wish they were dead at some point during this process. It's going to affect everybody we know, and the world will never be the same after this is done. I've seen a lot of examples of that. But Marcus Aurelius taught us, Stoics, there are things that we have control over, and there are things that we don't have control over. We don't have control over the fact that this virus is here and that it's easily transmittable, and at some point everybody will catch it. We don't have control over the fact that our administration can't seem to get their story straight. But we do have control on a lot of stuff in our immediate surroundings. Like checking in with our friends and making sure they're okay, making sure they have what they need. If we don't have what we need, making sure we let people know we don't have what we need so we can get through it. But without acceptance and without coming to terms with it, we can't really move into the phase where we start to deal with, that was my charger for my spinal cord stimulator, by the way. So we're moving into a phase now where in the phase of acceptance, we don't have to be super upset or emotional. We can just deal with reality that we're faced with. And most of us are going to get through this, but a lot aren't. And so by knowing, we're in a very dynamic situation, and this is going to touch everybody. So let's do the things that we can do to make our world better. And that's, looking after our neighbors and checking in on people and offering help if we can, or volunteering, or just anything to stay involved and feel like you're making a difference. Now's the time to act. It may feel like there's dread, there's this dread of like all these people passing away, but we can make a difference. We can still make a difference now if we act. One of my designers that was in Project OR, Shannon Smith Williamson, she designed a face mask. I shared it on my Facebook page. If you friend me or send me a message on this video, I'll be glad to share the PDF with you. In fact, I'll just put it in the description of this video. You'll be able to find a PDF to a face mask that you can sew, or if you know somebody who can sew, they can sew it for you. There's so much we can do. So let's start doing stuff. Let's not be victims. Let's take an active role in this. All right, that's it. If you like what you heard in the video, it really helps me if you click like, or if you feel like it, subscribe so you can find out when I do another one of these, which is pretty much going to be every day, because I'm just doing it as a way to stay sane and give myself something to do. But we're going to get through this. It's going to be really hard, but you need to integrate these changes and deal with them, because if we bury them or suppress them, they're going to haunt us later. They're going to come back to give us problems later. So be aware of what you're not dealing with today, because you'll have to deal with it tomorrow or a year from now. But it's really hard to make good decisions when you're emotional. And now I'm freezing, so I'm going to go inside. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Eric, signing out. Bye.